hit that like, you know. Do it. Don't be afraid. Hit the like and share the show. Do us all a favor. Come on. Don't be afraid. Do what you gotta do. What's up, chat room? Hello, Substack. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. What is going on, YouTube? If you're on YouTube, subscribe, will ya? For Christ's sake, do it. Just do it. We're almost up. All right, let's let's jump straight in here. And I'll go straight to the chat room. Hi, chat room. How are you? So I rearranged part of my desk, and now all of my my buttons are dead center now, which is great. And I don't have to like lean and look at all that kind of stuff. But I'm having to get reacclimated to what's actually here. And so if I push the wrong button, just understand it might be a thing just that occurs. What the hell is happening? Where did I go? Oh no, not the kidney. Ouch! Help! It's painful. Not the... Ah! Help me! The fucking kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Oh, well, I feel better about it now. Uh, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. I'm just saying. Hit that like before it eats me again. Now, okay, there is Distraction Central. Gaslight Central is firing on all cylinders, and I gotta say, I'm enjoying it, enjoying the flip out. I think that's good. And I want to say thank you. First of all, starting out, let's start the show fresh and clean. Happy birthday once again to CSL, Can't Stop Lying, who has the difficult and painful task of hunting down clips I have not already seen. And amongst my media diet, that's a difficult thing to do. That especially finding ones that are worth reacting to that are not on that. And then, of course, helping us splice things together and alienating people that I used to have a reasonable relationship with who are awful online through his magnificent clip art in the thumbnails. Goodbye, Carol Roth. Tough shit. All right. Now, let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. All right, we're gonna try to go to, where is this? All right, yeah, here we go. So there's no way I'll be able to cover this first piece, though. I grabbed this one myself because I've already watched a big chunk of it, the meaningful chunk of it, just so you don't have to. And I just want to, I want to address a couple of fucking things right out of the gate. Along with, by the way, thanking Joe Walsh and Chris Titus for coming on the show this morning, which was great. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. The morning show was particularly spectacular this morning. We always have great guests, but it was a nice surprise to, it was very exciting. Sorry. Summit at the VP residence has been canceled. Gee, too much attention, too many people on the lawn. Yeah, my guess. But the person I want to bring up in this particular is this person. Ann Coulter, who was previously, I think, Candace Owens' #1 candidate for previously being a man who became a woman before she latched on to Macron's wife. Ann Coulter has a series of problems and a vacillation between being a Trump sycophant and a Trump truth teller that kind of puts her in this kind of amorphous zone of like always bullshitting. Okay? Due to lack of interest, right? I don't think so. But she went on this, the Winston Marshall podcast, and I don't know if she's in England or he's just English and does a show here. I don't think it fucking matters. But she talks about how, at one point, she was picked up on the street by Jeffrey Epstein. This is how she met Jeffrey Epstein. And I want you to start, I'll warn you ahead of time. Your what the fuck bullshit also, like, how can you be around this long and not know this shit? Meter will just peg like fucking crazy. That's Ann Coulter, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, the woman who had a debate with what's his name on Van Jones on CNN, had it at Politicon, and I was a witness to the wrestling part of it behind the scenes, which is they were just going up there. It was all performative bullshit. Neither one of them was speaking from an ethical point of view that they actually gave a shit about. It was just flapping for the audience. It was straight up fucking wrestling. And then they came up and like, I was too hard on you with it. No, not at all. It was lovely or whatever. I'd be hard pressed to say that I didn't think they knocked boots after the thing. So, isn't she too old for Epstein? Yes, but then so is Ghislaine Maxwell. What they could do is lure the youngins in, or she might have access to youngins, whatever, or access to other rich and well-known people, because that's the other thing. Ann Coulter was, well connected in right-wing circles, right? Has been for a long time. And you know how I mean has been.
Pretty broke long. It was the day before the 9/11 attack, and I was leaving the next. I had to write a column that night. I have 2 speeches I was flying off to the next day. Never
busy.
made it. It's the morning of 9/11. And And I had to go to an event down on Madison Avenue. I was on the Upper East Side, pouring rain, pre-Uber, couldn't get a cab. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to walk 50 blocks to get home in the pouring rain. And a limo pulls up, and the guy leans out from the backseat. Cars are moving at like 5 miles per hour, and says, "Hey, Ann Coulter, I'll give you a ride. We know people in common." He named someone that I do know. Not that good a recommendation, but I do know her. And I thought, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the her she's not naming. So he named another woman that Ann Coulter. This is Jeffrey Epstein, by the way. Jeffrey Epstein leans out of a fucking limo window and says, "Hey, you need a lift?" And Ann Coulter makes a lot of excuses as to why that's okay, but gets in the fucking car.
Car's going 5 miles per hour. I can always leap out. So I get in the back of the car. We go past.
That's a very brave thing to do, to get into a stranger's car, I'd say. You were sufficiently convinced by whatever the name was.
I was sufficiently desperate to get home.
Right, okay.
Again, pre-Uber.
In a limo. Let's add that too, because that has a lot to do with why.
And raining, no cabs.
Okay.
We went past his house, which you've surely seen, the largest private residence. It used to be a private girls' school in New York. And he said, "I live here." And I said, "You do not." And he said, "Come in, we'll have tea. Don't worry, my car will wait for you and take you the rest of the way," which wasn't that far anyway. And I just wanted to call BS on him. So I went in and...
As you do. This, yes, did he offer her candy? Yes, tea, tea and limo ride. It's the upper class twit of the year version of an ice cream van.
And what was two things were striking about it. No books. And, pre-Uber, this was also...
No books. Statues of like a fucking... There's like a sculpture of a bride on a rope escaping some sort of torture hanging from the ceiling. There's a fucking... I think a picture of a baby in a sink being washed. Like, there's fucking nude underage girl paintings everywhere. But no books is really what stands out, because she's a writer.
Kindle. That I've always noticed that in people's apartments when they have no books.
It's nice to know that Ann Coulter's dating red flags are, after I'm in your place, that's my red flag. Like, you wouldn't ask somebody about their favorite book before you, went to their house and went, "Hey, there's no books in here. What's all this tarp for?" Thump.
And then I asked him something that occurred to no journalist to ask him, "How did you make your money?"
By the way, he made his money because Les Wexner signed over power of attorney of him and his companies to him, and therefore he could spend what was a multi-billion-dollar industry's money through any means he saw fit, including leveraging some of the money or loaning it back to him, and leveraging that money out to other people so that he could skim off of it, or just writing himself fucking checks. Plus, there were a bunch of other things. Like, the idea that there was a mystery where this motherfucker got his goddamn stuff from, like his money from, is just dumb. It's an apocryphal lie. A lot of these assholes tell themselves to gin up this whole, like, it was he was a Mossad agent, or he belonged to intelligence. That one single thing that Alex Acosta said, which is apparently the one trustworthy thing Alex Acosta has ever fucking said, that he won't repeat. When he was asked under oath, denied it. It was said in like third party to a reporter, right? But which normally these assholes would write off any kind of anonymous source entirely. It's just fucking tiresome. Anyways.
And he was very flippant about it. I invest money for rich people. And it was, I don't know, he was just so goofy and frivolous.
He didn't just whip out his bank book because there was a blonde with tits in his house? Weird. So do most people just show you their fucking checkbook after you chastise them for not having any books?
I've known...
The fuck is this weirdo's dating life like? How often has she woken up in a van with their clothes on backwards?
A lot of very rich people, whether billionaires or centimillionaires, and you have...
Centimillionaires. It's nice she has multiple experiences. She's such a woman of the people.
And they are not frivolous like this. In fact, the ones I know, I'm sure there are exceptions, are constantly thinking, working. They can be funny. They can do other stuff and have hobbies, but they're not frivolous like this guy was. And I thought it was creepy enough that as proof, I had his car drop me off, not at my apartment, but a few blocks away. So the doorman thought I was crazy. I walk in, oh, hi, I'm back. Wait for the car to go away, and then I walked. It was just a few more blocks from my place.
Because you didn't want the driver to...
Sorry, you went to his house, but you were worried that he would know where your house was, like he couldn't fucking figure it out, and you have mutual friends, apparently, so that you were comfortable with. Never mind. This is just so fucking dumb. I would call this bullshit. I call bullshit on this part of the story. I think this is made up. I think a lot of people stiff-armed their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein after the fact. I think she's lying about, it's an 80-20 rule. 80% real and 20% make myself look like the good person,
get your
right?
address.
And then and I was right, for the next 6 months, people who knew Epstein could get my email from TV.
People who knew Epstein got your email, and who would those people be?
Stations like Alan Dershowitz. And I said,
Sorry. So Alan Dershowitz has your contact info and passes along an invite from Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, that'll be important later.
Start getting, all these emails from people like Dershowitz. Jeffrey Epstein wants to get in touch with you. Jeffrey Epstein wants to get in touch with you. And I was just creeped out. No, there's something weird about this guy. This is before...
Yes, you mean Alan Dershowitz? I agree. There's something fucking creepy about that dude.
Any of this broke. I didn't see any young girls around. There was no Ghislaine Maxwell there. And
so you went to an empty house with a man we know now is a serial pedophile. Cool. And what you escaped because you were too old to be his type? Or you were, I guess... by the way, Facebook is acting weird. It's now sending data. It was frozen for a second. Hopefully we'll be back up there. I'll see if I can restart it. Kick it up. And it went offline, and then let's go back online. We'll see if it's coming back up. The whole story is just fucked up.
And, years later, not that many years later, a few years later, I happened to be down in Palm Beach when...
Yeah, as you do. You live in the same neighborhood as Epstein and Trump. You're all about a 5-minute cab ride from each other. And then you just happen to be in Palm Beach, where everybody is a 5-minute cab ride from each other.
The Jeffrey Epstein story broke, and I think it's kind of weird that the Miami Herald, good for her, that Julie Brown or something, won the Pulitzer Prize for her story in whatever year it was, 2017, 18, for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff she wrote about. I don't even respect the Palm Beach Post, but they had the full story in 2006. And I thought it was kind of a big story. I wrote about it not as specifically as this story. It was just how it was more on how biased the DA was in Palm Beach. He had just spent 4 years going after Rush Limbaugh for back pain pills.
Sorry. Biased the DA was. Just spent 4 years going after... Rush Limbaugh for back pain pills. Not back pain pills. Fucking OxyContin. Trafficking 30,000 pills. Getting his housekeeper to fucking bring it over the border. And on top of that, finding out that he flew to the Dominican Republic with a bunch of fucking Viagra and pain pills so he could be a sex tourist in fucking, fuck off with this nonsense.
But he lets off this pederast.
A pederast, if I'm not mistaken, is after boys. Specifically.
I did get Bill O'Reilly on Fox News to do a segment on it, and it was fantastic, and he was great. And he ended the segment saying, and I'm going to stay on top of this story.
That's right, Bill O'Reilly. How can you not trust that dude? Way to find the one dude at Fox News that doesn't have any sexual assault goes skeletons in his closet that'll drive him off the fucking network.
I'm watching this DA. I'll get back to what the slap on the wrist was, but it was a Democrat DA.
A Democrat DA. That'd be Kersher? Is it Krisher? Krisher is his name? Yeah.
Do you remember the name?
Barry Krishner.
Okay.
Krischer.
And every time I'd run into O'Reilly, and sometimes I'd do a show, but I just run into him in the halls at Fox and say, hey, when are you doing that follow-up story on Epstein? Oh, yeah, we're getting to it. I don't think he ever did a follow-up. But I was telling everybody in the media, this is kind of a big story, utterly, completely ignored by the mainstream media. And I think it's because Epstein was a huge Democratic donor. Barry Krishner, the DA, or as they call them, state attorney in West Palm Beach, huge Democratic donor. I knew the chief of police.
Yes, huge in, let's see, Barry Krischer. Let's see, $500. Hold on. Here's his, according to Open Secrets, here's Barry Krischer's donations. Money to candidates. Alice Hastings, he gave $500. He gave $250 to Lois Frankel. He gave $500 to Rod Smith. He gave $250 to William McBride. He gave $250 to Bob Graham. He gave $35 to the Florida Democratic Party. He gave $150 to Adelaide Singer. $150, $100, $50, $250. Yeah, this guy was a fucking high roller. He gave $490, probably what is it? It was a tip on top of it, to the Democratic Executive Committee of Florida. This is 91. And then there's a huge. Is there a gap? What is this? Okay, they're not in order necessarily. Are they by contributor category or recipient? Let's go by amount. What's the highest amount he gave? Or that's the lowest. Hold on. Well, obviously 35. There you go. 500 was the highest. He gave 500 to Rod Smith, the state attorney. Alice Hastings, he gave 500. He gave 490 to Lois Frankel. 250 to McBride. 250, 250, 250, 250. Like, over the course of 2018, year 2000. 2009, 1999. Yeah, huge donor. Like, this dude was, like, basically a party activist.
Down there. And he told me, he may have told the press, that when they were first, what happened was some mothers from West Palm Beach came over. And
no. This is, by the way, real quick, the initial story for where the story actually came to them was a girl was in a fight because another girl called her a hooker or a prostitute at school. They got into a fight. During the fight, they searched both their bags because they were in a fight, and that's what they do, to look for drugs or other shit. And they found $300 cash in this poor girl's bag. And they asked her where she got it, and she said, I was selling drugs. And then her parents showed up, and she told them she sold drugs. And then after a while, they're like, you're not high now. Where'd you get the drugs? Who'd you get them from? Who'd you sell them to? And they're like, she's like, actually, I got $300 to get this asshole a massage. And then that's when it started happening. So the mothers didn't go. The state attorney was called by the police from the school.
Contacted the Palm Beach police and said her daughter suddenly had a lot of money.
Not true at all. That was after an incident at a school. They didn't just rando say. And it's important that she gets like regular details, right? The stepmother talked her into telling where she got it from. But the money was found and the cops were called and the parents were called. This all happened at the school. All of it. The cops were there with the parents and the kids, both girls, at the school. All right.
That her daughter and her friends' daughters were giving erotic massages and having sex with a rich man on the island of Palm Beach for money. And most of these girls were coming from broken families, if not runaways. They were troubled girls, but young enough for Jeffrey. So the Palm Beach police start looking into it, and it was a massive, brilliant investigation with Epstein having no idea what was going on. They had his trash picked up and directly delivered to the police station. They're going to through all of his trash. From one girl, they interviewed another girl. They ended up with like 17, I may have the number slightly wrong, but affidavits from the victims themselves and some of the slightly older enablers, the like 20-year-old girls who were the ones going around finding the young girls, and the young girls would ask their other girlfriends, hey, want to make some easy money?
Also,
a lot of detail on how
real
they
quick,
were recruited, what was done to them.
For the record, Krischer was an asshole, and they were worried that his connections would get him out of it, or they were trying to help him. It doesn't quite matter. His connections to like the elites in Palm Beach is what protected him ultimately. And Krischer was one of the people who referred to the girls as prostitutes. And I have made this statement, and again, this is where there's a lot of overlap right to left. And I think a bridge point, yes, we can all agree that a child cannot be a prostitute of any sort. It can't happen. So again, Trump didn't get girls hired away from him. They were tricked and abducted and forced into sex slavery by someone. They were not hired away, unless, of course, Trump wants to make the case that he had sex slaves working at Mar-a-Lago and they were his property. Right. Anyways, on with the dipshittery.
Then they also interviewed the butler at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion, and he reported that.
On the topic of Epstein, let's take a quick look at how the media is reporting on Maxwell's
ground news ad.
And I
with young girls and find things like a large black dildo. Can I say that on this program?
And you can say whatever you want.
I'm just quoting an eyewitness report. They found in the trash things like, as for whether he knew they were 14, oh my gosh, did he know they were 14?
But Trump couldn't have possibly known.
So there would be things like deliver flowers to, this 15-year-old girl after she performs in the school play. So-and-so is coming late today because she has soccer practice. So they had him totally dead to rights. So they don't.
Also, by the way, he was a member at Mar-a-Lago for 3 more years after this. What the fuck is with the lighting? It's dramatic podcast lighting. I think he's trying to be Lex Friedman.
Barry Krishner, the district attorney or state attorney, they don't tell him who it is yet. The investigation is ongoing. They got to keep it all under wraps, but they do tell him this is what we're investigating. And Krishner's really, really excited about this. This is fantastic. We're going to get one of these billionaires. I'm sure he's resentful of these rich people living on Palm Beach. Yes, keep going, get all this stuff. He's signing off on everything. He's getting the warrants for everything. And then they deliver it to him on a silver platter. He sees it Jeffrey Epstein and basically refuses to pursue anything. So
what year is that?
That it has to have been 2006.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a year before Jeffrey Epstein stopped being a member at Mar-a-Lago. The idea that he was kicked out or that they canceled it is not in record anywhere. It simply ended. So Epstein could have just very well decided Trump dry snitched on him, so he wasn't going to be a member anymore.
After the first charge? Oh, no.
Those were the first charges.
Okay.
So it would have been, I think, 2006. Okay. The trial wouldn't take that long. So Barry Krishner does it before. He presents to the grand jury. He presents to the jury. It was all closed. We don't know what he said, but the only thing the jury came back with was, I think it was 1 count of soliciting prostitution.
No, it's 2 counts. Initially, it was, let's see, Epstein, first 2 counts, grand jury, Palm Beach. It was soliciting a minor for prostitution. There were, let's see, 2006, they indicted him on a single state felony charge, solicitation of prostitution. This was considered a relatively minor charge. Palm Beach Police Department lead detective referred the case to the FBI. Later in 2008, after facing federal investigation, Epstein secured a plea deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office that allowed him to plead to 2 state felony charges, solicitation of prostitution, the original grand jury charge, and solicitation of a prostitution with a minor, singular, and no age attached. There's been a bunch of people who've said that it was a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old or whatever. No, it was just a minor. Therefore, if you don't define it as under the age of 16, you don't, if you go to New Mexico, for example, where he had this giant ranch, you don't have to declare yourself a sex offender if the person was over the age of 16. So by not attaching a direct age to it, they allowed him to skip, depending on where he went.
So soliciting, not doing it. And you're calling these 14-year-old girls prostitutes. So...
State of Florida, man.
Oh, and all he got was a slap on the wrist, not 1 day in jail, not registered as a sex offender. So the chief of police, Chief Wright...
No, they didn't actually... they didn't go to trial with it. It was referred up because they could only get him for solicitation of prostitution because the girls wouldn't testify for whatever fear, or their parents weren't them, if they weren't going to go all the way with it or something. There was a limitation on that. So they decided to make it an FBI charge. The solicitation of prostitution, the original charge, was not charged by itself. Should have been, but it wasn't.
Was bullshit. He was furious about this. He's giving interviews. He's looking for some other way around this. Now, as you know, we have the state system and the federal system. Obviously, sex crimes in Palm Beach, one mansion in Palm Beach, that's a state case. It's not a federal case. I don't think they knew yet, or if they knew, they didn't have the details on the flights to Lolita Island, the transporting girls, New York, Palm
which would have made
Beach.
it federal.
But still, the U.S. attorney for, I don't know, I guess Miami, whoever the U.S. attorney is down there, this Alex Acosta, he sees the case and says, okay, we're going to take it. We'll make it a federal case. And he has reported, he's the one who's been, that the Miami Herald, the reason it came up in 2017 again, after the media ignoring it for a decade, was because...
Also, they didn't ignore it for a decade. People were on it all over the place. Especially after Trump brought it up again in 2015.
Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney, did not get a very rough deal. I mean, way better than what the DA got. He got a...
There was no deal the first time around. There was only one deal.
He got Epstein registered.
Otherwise, it would have been double jeopardy. You can't be charged in plea on the same charge again. This is bullshit. Like, again, this is made up.
Sex offender. Struck a plea bargain with him. I forget what the charges were, but it was a charge, and he had to...
Solicitation of prostitution, solicitation of a minor.
It was a state charge. It's weird. The federal government got him to plead guilty to a state charge. So the state would impose the penalty, but here we have the plea.
Which would still allow him to travel interstate and not register himself as a sex offender in any state but Florida.
Bargain. And that's when Jeffrey Epstein was assigned. This is out of the U.S. attorney's hands. It goes back to, Barry Krishner. And he gets 13 months in a private wing of the West Palm Beach jail. I think it was 13 months. Maybe I'm confusing the two 13s. Yeah, and then...
Who was president at the time? Who was governor of the state at the time? Was that a Republican or... All right.
12 hours at home every day.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not exactly something that would make you want to make that person the labor secretary.
It wasn't punishment at all. So that's what the media finally got obsessed with. And why? Because the U.S. attorney was a Trump appointee.
No. What drew attention to the fact was that Donald Trump was best friends with the fucking dude, and that he was a Trump appointee. Because I got news for you. There are Trump appointees that have done a bunch of fucking favors for a bunch of folks, but they weren't directly tied to Trump, so the media hasn't caught on to it yet because it's about people who aren't the current sitting president.
Finally had a way to tie this entirely Democratic story.
Think about that for a second. That's her job right now. She's spackling over this entirely Democratic story, she says. Now, I've said multiple times, if there are Democrats involved with Jeffrey Epstein, fuck them. Goodbye. That's not hard. So why is she just kind of conveniently leaving out Trump's long-running relationship with this dude? Okay, we'll see.
To Donald Trump and one of his cabinet appointees. So Acosta's now on the hot seat. He has to defend himself, and he says, Our office has never come under so much pressure. Jeffrey Epstein had so many lawyers working for him, calling us, threatening us, following my attorneys home, following the assistant DAs. They would have, the...
You do realize these people have, like, prosecuted, like, gangsters and cartel leaders and people like that who will blow up your car. Mobsters, for fuck's sake.
Black car following them. We know where you live. And one of the things he said was he was told, I don't know if it was by one of Epstein's attorneys, I think it was from someone in the State Department, called him and said,
under George Bush. That this would be under George Bush.
Leave it alone.
Right. Somebody under Dick Cheney and George Bush. Just to be clear.
Epstein is intelligence.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. That's been
No, it has not.
reported. There's not a...
No, it has not been reported. It's been reported that through that secondary source, he said, belonged to intelligence, meaning that he was perhaps an asset, or they were controlling him, or they were using him, or getting him as a source. But that he was intelligence. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
We haven't...
And it matters, right? Is there a difference between being a CIA agent and a CIA asset? Abso-fucking-lutely. Does it matter when you're investigating it? I mean, I don't want to get all fucking reacher on this, but...
I haven't heard that, but or it's not official, right? It's not, like, we don't know for sure that was said, but it's been reported that was said.
And it should be investigatable. I mean, I'm guessing, even going back that far,
Yes.
State Department records should
Right.
be
Oh,
receivable.
So, okay. Right.
Sorry. If he was, quote, intelligence, you think the State Department ran him? Also, who the fuck are you talking about? Also, Alex Acosta under oath said that wasn't what they said and that it wasn't true. Now, I don't think he's a believable witness, but the idea that he was told by somebody in the State Department, where he was like, oops, I should have said the Pentagon so that we can all cover our ass, might have been the thing. But you put it in the State Department, then you can look it up.
Or discoverable. You could put Alex Acosta on the stand and ask him,
Yes, do that.
among other things, who called you?
Yeah, ask him. Ask him who called you. And when it's not somebody who actually is in the government at the time, but Trump or his rich friends, you give us their which phone number you used to call them back.
Yes.
Why can't we find that out?
Because Trump is president, and because he knows people like you will throw yourselves in front of a bus for him.
I mean, that's a pretty big bombshell. And what's being done to investigate it?
Gee, I don't know. It's funny. Which DOJ was it that was running things when he was arrested the first time he got his sweetheart deal? Which DOJ was running things when he got fucking rounded up and died in prison? Wink, wink, wink. And which administrations actually prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell? Work it out.
By that point, is that sort of the beginning of the quote-unquote conspiracies, that he's an intelligence asset, or was that already part of the discourse? Was that already part of...
Among people who were Epstein aficionados, and I would include myself and about 20 other people who were following this from 2006.
So she's been following this since 2006.
If you'd call it a conspiracy theory, but we were already looking for who's funding Epstein, who...
Les Wexner? Leon Black? Like his leftover clients from fucking Bear Stearns? And? What are you talking about? Do you think... sorry. Trump. You don't actually think Jeffrey Epstein paid for his membership to Mar-a-Lago, do you? Sorry. When will that fucking burn the eyeballs of assholes like this? When we want to see the books of Mar-a-Lago, who's a paid member? And did he ever write a fucking check for his membership, or did he just get a pass? Now, she's under the impression that Maxwell was a member, and Epstein was her kind of permanent guest. We know that's not true because it's in the books that he was a member. I don't know that it's in the books that Maxwell was a member, but I'd like to know if they cashed a check from either of these motherfuckers for their whatever $125,000 a year membership. Let's see the canceled checks. That shouldn't be hard, right? Why can't we see the books of Mar-a-Lago of the last time they got a check from Epstein? How about that? Let's just start there. Do you think we're going to see it?
Who was involved? What prominent men were involved? So
Donald Trump, Leon Black, Les Wexner. Fuck off, lady.
Whether it's a conspiracy theory or not, we were on this by 2006 or 7.
Right.
And then the rest of the world found out about the whole story in, I think it was 2017 that the Miami Herald wrote about it. And suddenly the media pick it up because they have this 6 degrees of separation way of connecting it to Donald Trump.
What? 6 degrees of separation? Bitch, they were best friends. What the fuck? 6 degrees? He wished Ghislaine Maxwell well after her arrest from the fucking White House. He called Jeffrey Epstein her boyfriend, and he died in jail or something happened. Are you out of your fucking mind? There's not even 1 degree separation. These motherfuckers were on top of each other.
Right, okay. But so you said earlier about Bill O'Reilly, you sort of suggested that it was...
Oh, you mean Bill O'Reilly, the guy who had to pay $33 million to settle sexual harassment and assault claims against a former employee of Fox News, a producer on his show and others, and Fox had to dole out another $9 million to cover for it? You mean that Bill O'Reilly?
Because he was Epstein was a Democrat backer, that they didn't touch it. That's your conclusion, is it? It's...
Yes, that's why Fox News didn't talk about it, because he was a big Dem backer. Motherfucker.
That it's quite as simple as that. Or, I mean, if I were to get into conspiracy land, it might be because people were protecting Epstein and kind of were able to infiltrate Fox News or into the media and try.
Yes, Democrats infiltrated Fox News, and only Bill O'Reilly had the moral fortitude before he left because of a $33 million settlement with a woman he sexually assaulted, probably violently, over years, to stand up and do one report on it.
Oh, I don't think Fox was suppressing it. I think...
Where was Bill O'Reilly? Is it?
It was Bill O'Reilly. He was the only one, as far as I know, who covered it.
Is he at Fox?
Yeah, he was.
Right, okay.
He does his own thing now.
Why does he, why does he do his own thing now? Why did he give up such a lucrative gig, Anne?
And God bless him for doing that one thing. I think it's more, I mean, I know I'm like this. Even a story that I consider very interesting, if the rest of the media, including the liberal media, shows absolutely no interest, it just kind of falls off the radar and you forget about it. And how many times can you keep writing the same column or making the same point? And I suspect that's why O'Reilly didn't cover it. I don't think he was covering up for it. I think...
No. I mean, you do one report and it's done. You don't have to revisit it, even if the guy's still out there, assaulting children. You don't have to ask a follow-up like, hey, why is this guy not in jail currently while he's serving a sentence that says he's supposed to be in jail? I don't care.
There were just other stories, and they were in the news, and those are the ones you have to respond to right now.
Right, yeah, it's a lot.
But it was very, I mean, I can't think of another reason they wouldn't have covered it back then, because there are more Republicans tied up in it, and more Republican money tied up in it, and Donald Trump specifically tied up in it. Most of the media would have the same reaction Barry Krishner did at first. Ha ha ha, we're going to get this big billionaire, and he's expecting, like Biff from Greenwich, Connecticut, with his working on his golf handicap, and whoa, it wasn't that at all.
So when you
What a weird way to describe Donald Trump.
learned that Epstein's got this ridiculous sentence where he can go home in a day, and he's got his own sort of wing of the prison. What do you make of that? What did you make of it at the time?
What I say, Democrat. They're covering for him.
Okay, I see.
And which Democratic president was in charge when that happened? Which Democratic governor of the state was in charge when that happened? What what Republican during his arrest basically broomed a bunch of the evidence and then the fucker died?
Okay, so one
other thing.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And also, I guess Trump is protecting Democrats by not releasing this stuff. Because apparently, I don't know if you know this, but according to the memo released by Bongholio, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, there are no co-conspirators. There are no rich men being blackmailed. There was not a blackmail thing going on. So I don't even know why you're bringing up Democrats at all. According to Pam Bondi, who the fuck are they protecting? Nobody. It was just jizz bucket grabbing girls off the street and feeding them to this monster Epstein, and nobody else was involved. And everybody knew he was a scumbag except Donald Trump, who was around him more than anyone. Please continue.
Small point. Around this time, Barry Krishner, the DA.
Krischer. I'm pretty sure there's no N.
Hillary was running for president 2008. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the sentencing was in 2007, because around the time of the sentencing and the slap on the wrist, Barry Krishner was buying property in the Washington, D.C. area. So Matt Drudge and I speculated he was planning on getting a job in the Hillary Clinton administration.
Really? And none of that radar goes up around Alex Acosta actually getting a job, actually giving a sweetheart deal, actually ending up in D.C. So fuck your speculation. How about the people that gave the deal to Epstein, where he had a fucking key to his jail cell and could go home anytime he wanted to, absolved everyone else, and then got a job in the Trump administration? Like, that's not even fuck speculation.
Okay, so then you have this change around Trump's first administration.
Yeah, it's a change. It's a change.
People start to care about it, but it seems to me, again, you're an aficionado, I'm not, but it wasn't the left necessarily who cared about it. It was the right, and Trump himself, I think, on the campaign trail then was talking about it with relation to Bill Clinton.
Yes.
And so it seemed to me that at that point it really becomes part of the online right, or the what is now maybe the MAGA right. It becomes their baby then.
Yes.
As a story.
Yes, the reason it came up again, I mean, besides the fact that they could connect it to Trump, was one of the smartest lawyers in...
Well, why did they connect it to him? Oh, because he was best friends with the motherfucker for 25 years and hired the guy who gave him a sweetheart deal to be Secretary of Labor, a job he was wholly unqualified to have.
The country, Paul Cassell, he's very anti-crime, which I know sounds silly, but liberals and Democrats are very pro-crime, so it's...
All right, okay. I mean, again, we'll put a pin on that. Trump's fraud cases, everything's fucking hoax. Right. And Trump's own words. I would like to remind Ann Coulter of one of our favorite Trump...
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Not that unusual, or that weird that somebody would be that. So he worked for Orrin Hatch when he was head of judiciary. He's had a lot to do with a lot of the federal laws on crime. And one of them that he was the mover and shaker on is this Crime Victims Act that gives the victims of crime rights, because criminals have all kinds of rights. One of the rights victims have is to be apprised of what's going on with a case as it moves forward. So.
Right. And not only did they not do this in the case that Alex Acosta did, but they didn't do it going forward. They're not doing it right fucking now in terms of the grand jury testimony, in terms of moving Jizz Bucket Maxwell to a cushy club fed where she can do puppy yoga.
But a DA can't just slip in. Not a DA, that would have to be, this is only federal, so that would have to be U.S. attorney. Can't strike a deal with, their child's murderer or their rapist without telling the victim.
Oh, you mean like Todd Blanche did fucking 2 days ago?
What's going on? Well, none of that happened with Jeffrey Epstein, and there were a lot of victims. So Paul Cassell and I forget the name of his partner, something Bradley, or maybe it was Bradley something. They bring civil suit on behalf of Virginia Giuffre, the one in the pictures with Prince Andrew.
Who sadly took
Giuffre.
her own life earlier this year.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I didn't follow up, but when it first broke, it seemed like it was just a car accident. Has it been determined that it was intentional?
Oh, was it a car? Maybe I.
No.
I will say that I appreciate that they kind of fill in when she fucks up the names and goes all over the place. They put this stuff together in, that they actually fill in the information on this Winston Marshall show. Kudos for that.
I've heard people say.
Maybe I don't know the story.
I've heard people say that, and I was thinking, I don't know, a few days ago, I got to go look into that. Anyway, she has passed away fairly recently.
Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I think it was a car accident, not.
I've heard other people say she took her own life, so we got to look into.
God damn. Again, this is an aficionado of the whole case. How do you not know this detail? You're going to talk about this. You fucking got a car ride from Jeffrey Epstein. That's how you first met him. He picked you up off the fucking street. You're going to launch that reality, that storyline into the world on this fucking podcast, and you don't know what happened to motherfucker. 3 of the other co-conspirators of Epstein, well, 2 of the other co-conspirators, and he died, in under mysterious circumstances on their way to trial or in jail, and Virginia Giuffre died as well, and all during while Trump was president.
That happened. Maybe a producer get back to us on behalf of Virginia, and also I think they just called them. Actually,
yes, Epstein picked her up, gave her a car ride on the street in New York while she was walking in the rain, and went, "Hey, Aunt Coulter," and he knew her by name. And then to get her to come to other events, had fucking Dershowitz calling her.
They might have all been called Jane Doe.
Also, why the fuck would Dershowitz, who's allegedly a Democrat, right? Remember that's what Dershowitz tells everybody. He's a Democrat, and he's always been a Democrat, and he's just a constitutionalist and that kind of stuff. It's not that he's a Republican. He would never vote Republican, blah, 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 all that story. And yet, he's the conduit to get Ann Coulter to a fucking party?
A, Jane Doe B, Jane Doe C.
Mm-hmm.
And they...
Don't forget Doe 147, which is Donald Trump.
They all have grounds to reopen that plea bargain because they were denied their rights as victims. It was a brilliant lawsuit. And
wait till they bring the one about Ghislaine Maxwell being moved to Texas.
In their filings, they now detailed what was done to them and mentioned a couple of the men involved. Virginia Giuffre mentioned Dershowitz. I think Prince Andrew. I think one of them brought up Clinton, or maybe that came out with the flight records. I'm not sure, but it's sort of...
She's being brought on as an expert. This is fucking tiresome.
It did become a partisan issue, except on both sides, because, interestingly enough, Jeffrey Epstein was never a member of Mar-a-Lago, but...
False. Jeffrey Epstein was a member, an official member of Mar-a-Lago until 2007. This is a huge part of her lie right now. If she's ignorant of this, she should keep her fucking mouth shut. But I think she does know, and she's lying on behalf of Trump.
Ghislaine Maxwell was. So he would go to, that's why there's a picture of him at Mar-a-Lago with Trump and
No. There's not a picture. There's multiple pictures. God damn. Just imagine this woman tipsy at a country club, right?
So he would go along with Ghislaine at some point. Oh, it was
No, not at some point, not along with Ghislaine. No. He was a member till 2007, a paid member of Mar-a-Lago till 2007, a year after he finished his fucking sentence.
after groundskeeper complained to Donald Trump that Epstein had hit on his daughter, whom I think was working in the spa, handing out
Bullshit.
towels or something, and that
Yeah. Handing out towels or something, and that was it. In 2007,
that's when Trump banned Epstein from ever showing up at Mar-a-Lago again, even though he wasn't even a member.
he was a member until 2007.
Still, there was a picture.
Unless she's making the case that he showed up after he was no longer a member as a guest of Ghislaine Maxwell's, like in 2008 and 2009 and 2010, which might be the case.
Of him with Jeffrey Epstein. And he did give that stupid quote to New York Magazine like 10 years earlier about
10 years earlier? 10 years earlier. Try 3.
and just I mean just imagine, viewers, your father saying something like this about Jeffrey Epstein. It was something about, well, I hear he loves beautiful women as much as I do, but he likes them on the younger side. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's lovely. Anyway, yes, that stupid quote.
It's not stupid. Don't say stupid like it's a fucking mistake. No. Stupid is like an accident. Stupid is like, oops. He meant it. He was impressed with himself saying this.
Yeah.
There he has the picture with Epstein. So on MSNBC,
No. He's got lots of pictures with Epstein and lots of pictures with Maxwell.
it was all Donald Trump's friend, Donald Trump's friend, Donald Trump's friend. On Fox News, it was Clinton flew X number of times on the Lolita Express.
Right, okay.
And
How many, if you're talking about X number of times, how many times did Trump fly? 7 that we know of, possibly 10, maybe more. Also, we know that Epstein flew on Trump's plane and that they traded flights. Get into that.
I mean, who knows? I know nothing. I tend
Jesus. This is like we're in fucking Glenn Beck
to think
zone.
that neither Bill Clinton nor Donald Trump, I don't think they were having sex with 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Maybe Clinton with a girl in her 20s, which is adultery.
Okay. Adultery. Jesus Christ. One moment, please. Let's see. Okay, let's see about this. Let's see. Let's Trump terribly. This was when is this? 2000. This is 98. Trump and Kylie Bax. Trump time pass. Okay, and I don't want to. Trump. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. There was a girl that a effectively, Trump and Epstein within a circulating square of Trump's relationship with Epstein. Carrie Young modeled dated Trump for 2 years before he married another model, Melania Klaus. Let's see, in 1998, they dated for 2 years. This is Carrie Young. These are all like the models that he met through the same thing, the MC2 thing. I didn't have Donald Trump knew. His young senator review like Derek Jeter. He would say, "You're like Derek Jeter," and I would say exactly, because she was mixed race. Equivocation of violence, white supremacy, okay, beyond dating, outside efforts to hang out publicly. Okay, yeah, that's blah, blah, blah. Okay, that was about the age of her. There's the Reddit introduced me to and then there's the girl said she was groomed for sex. She was introduced to Trump at 14. Trump makes questionable comments about, and this was the 92 thing. Yeah, hold on. Let's see if we can bring this up. This is like this and Coulter. This would be one of the 3 degrees of separation.
Oh, well, Major, I want to start with intending.
Hold on.
Most
That's the
do very much of this.
I'll be
days
dating
of
her.
traditional campaigns, including opposition. We know
Where is it?
Made on behalf of
Where is it?
the campaign.
Oh, the
and
clean
more
part.
apparent than it is now, and Trump has not really given those closest to it.
Where is it? Just play the like the
Realities
audio
of the
from
Trump
it.
campaign, Elaine, and it's been never more apparent than it is now. Unlike most people who run for the presidency, it appears Donald Trump did very little opposition research on himself. Most people who seek the presidency, skilled politicians, do all of that in advance, or as much of it as they can, to find out all the potentially negative things that might be out there, how to prepare.
It says he'll be dating a young girl in 10 years. That was about his safety net with Epstein. There you go. Here's agree. There we go. And here's, let's see if I can turn this into a reader. This is because I think the whole story with Trump is this. He was never really around him. Here's Epstein and Trump and Eric and Ivanka. Here's Epstein going to his fucking wedding. Here's this is his wedding with Marla Maples. That's where they were. There he is again with Howard Stern, with Robin Leach, and other folks. There is I think there's one more picture. No, okay, this is the one where they put that piece. Newly discovered photos and videos shed fresh light on Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. According to these, it's about, please talk about how Trump plans to take over D.C. It's blather, lady cab driver. It's blather. It's blather.
Technically a crime, so I think we should be able to see their pictures.
Why do you think that?
You're
just speculating.
Yeah, I think pederasty is not that common. I mean, both Clinton's definitely a horn dog. He'd screw around with anything, put you in a skirt, he would hit on you. So why bother doing something that is just so shocks the conscience?
Pederasty is the term they use for boys, like a Catholic priests are pederasts. You know, like that pederast Hanrahan, if you watch Fletch.
Some of them definitely were. Oh, and by the way, Dershowitz completely denied it, and he ended up with some settlement in Virginia Giuffre. I don't know if he paid her money, but she said, I may have been mistaken. Who knows?
I'm going to, if you don't mind, zoom out a little bit. And I was wondering if you could give me a little bit of the story of the island, then how this comes about, how this, because I don't, again, know the story. Not maybe everyone listening knows the story as well as you do. We're talking about before 2005, obviously. You have these huge people going to the island and maybe having a fun weekend here and there, but it's a wide range of people that were there. From Bill Gates, I believe, was there, and academics, politicians, all sorts were going there. So
Alan Dershowitz.
How does the island come to Epstein's possession?
Well, that's a very important question. He bought it, which is why big question looming over all of this is, where did he get his money?
from Les Wexner and Leon Black and Donald Trump and people he helped avoid taxes. And it's plenty of money. Like, I don't, like, how much did, like, let's see. How much did Epstein pay for Little St. James? This is gonna, like, who cares, right? $7.9 million. He also bought the adjacent island for 20. His house in fucking New York, he got for $1. It's worth $70 million, this piece of property. It was worth 20 then, and he got it for fucking free. Both islands cost him 27 in total. He didn't have to be a billionaire. His airplane was probably more expensive than his fucking properties were. This is so fucking dumb. And Les Wexner was a fucking billionaire and he had power of attorney. He could have bought all those properties with Les Wexner's money and then gifted it to him fucking self. You know that story about how Les Wexner gave him the house in New York for $1? Right? That was the story. This $70 million house, he got it for $1. It was just there had to be a cash exchange, so he got it for $1. Wexner could have very well not known that was happening. Fucking, because he had power of attorney over his, over Wexner's entire fortune, Epstein could have bought that property with Les's money and then sold it to himself for $1. And again, the fact that she doesn't know that the house was basically a gift from Les Wexner while she's talking about being an aficionado and an expert. This is what's wrong with this whole fucking conversation. And she's running interference. That's what this is about. Like, this is willful ignorance. And there's a bunch of fuckers that are doing the exact same thing. So Ann Coulter is a specific example of this kind of shitty, shoddy thinking, but she's by no means unique. Okay, I'm almost done with her.
And as for the people going to the island, I am fairly confident in saying not one was a Republican. And I would...
That's because he brought the island to them. Also, nonsense.
Also say, he did this trick. I don't know if anybody over here is sleazy enough to do this, but it's a famous trick where you're a nobody. You want to have dinner with powerful and important people. So say you call up Robert De Niro and say, hey, LeBron James wants to have dinner with you. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, love to meet him sometime. And then you call LeBron James and say, hey, Robert De Niro wants to have dinner with you.
Well, that's just such a sleazy thing.
So that's what
It's
Epstein would do. So a lot of people technically...
And you got in his fucking car. God damn. Okay. I like, you get the point. Like, at this point, chat room, like, we keep digging in this stuff. But what's kind of crucial to this is the snow job that is being done around this. Now, there's a bunch of things I want to talk about, and not the least of which is, and by the way, hit that like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. This is on the other side of things, and I'm going to apologize out of the gate because the faces in this next clip are shocking, to say the very least. I think Facebook is up now. Is it okay, Andrea and everybody? I think so, but it looks like it is on my end, but I want to make sure. It looks like I see Facebook people in there, so we should be all right. There goes one. Say hi, Becky. There you are. So hopefully we're okay. Icky bathroom banter. You want to see some icky bathroom banter? I shouldn't have said that. Here it comes. Eric Bolling, the man who injects marzipan into his face, and the queen of Karens, ladies and gentlemen, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Mark Levin apparently insulted her. I don't know if they play the clip. I'll try and dig it up if it matters to what the conversation is. But this is MTG responds to Mark Levin's insults on Fox News. I feel like we should just all enjoy this. Yeah.
I really appreciate this opportunity. You know, Mark has never called me and talked to me in person or spoken to me about this, but when he goes on Fox News, the network where...
Also, why are you dialing into Eric Bolling's show from a subway toilet in Times Square.
He hosts his show and calls me crazy and refers to Marjorie Taylor Greene and her ilk. Well, he's insulting my entire district. He's also insulting.
Are you getting a mugshot right now?
The tens, hundreds.
She's just on the shitter. Is that what everybody thinks it is? Okay.
Of millions of Americans that voted in 2024 to end foreign wars and end foreign aid because we're absolutely sick of it.
End foreign aid.
And we're $37 trillion in debt. And Americans.
Yeah, Trump's responsible for a third of that. Maybe don't reelect the dude who increased the debt by a third, who's now going to add another $5 trillion on top of that, fucko. Maybe you're the fucking problem. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever have that come to Jesus moment where you're like, holy shit, things have gotten worse since I showed up?
On both sides of the aisle are frankly sick and tired.
You are in the federal government, for the record. You do realize that, right? Your office is in Washington, D.C.
Of their hard-earned tax dollars going to murder people in foreign countries, going to pay the industrial defense complex, massive contract.
The industrial defense complex. Is that a building in D.C.? Also, murder people in foreign wars? You can't murder your attacker. That's self-defense. Just saying.
So that their products, their weapon systems can be sold to foreign countries to murder people. That's not what America.
Murder people. Now, by the way, she is not talking about Israel and Gaza. I'd like to clarify, just in case, don't get it twisted. If you think this is like, Hamas Abi and his like being a peacenik and interviewing fucking terrorists and going, we totally get you, bro. Sorry, no. You don't get to call yourself anti-war unless you're against all of it. And you certainly can't be for the aggressor or defending them as the poor Russians are being murdered. This bitch does not give a fuck about Gazans or Israelis for that matter. She's talking about Russia, Ukraine.
So when Mark Levin talks about my ilk, he is insulting, I would say, most Americans in this country, Eric.
No, he isn't. No, you believe me. Your ilk is a very narrow. I think it should be more to the point. Just call it your ick.
And he's insulting big time people that are under the age of 40 because.
What? People under the age of. She's not under the age of 40, is she? Hold on. Sorry. No. She's 51. What the fuck?
It's the younger generations. It's my children's generation, 22, 25, and 27, my kids. That's their ages. And those younger generations don't have a future in America because of Mark Levin and the people like him and their policies that have.
Oh, you mean Republican? Sorry, you was talking about ilk and all that kind of stuff. I forgot you were talking directly about Republicans and the people who get them elected. Your party
destroyed our country for decades now.
Yes, as a Democrat, I agree with you, dipshit. I gotta say though, you know how like we talked to Joe Walsh this morning, and it's nice that he's joined the Democratic Party and he can still, I believe in a diversity of ideas and thoughts and that kind of stuff. So if he's a Democrat and he wants to vote for Democratic ideals and try to drive the conversation in a way that is healthy and the way he thinks, that's fine. But I don't want you joining us, and I think independents would even say, ugh.
$37 trillion in debt. Inflation is so high. Groceries are expensive. Bills are expensive. People can't afford rent.
Sorry, are these new sentences to you? Is she kind of coming around to the rent is too damn high? Groceries are too expensive? Excuse me. You have Trump's on speed dial and he knows your personal number. Call him the fuck up because according to him, everything is cheap now. You ungrateful wench.
Credit card debt is at an all-time high. And young people today cannot ever even dream of buying a house. That's the America that Mark Levin has.
What? A, fuck you and policing people's dreams. Secondly, they always say that. Bills are expensive. I agree. They are technically an expense. I don't know if you guys know that.
Has fought for. That's the America that Mark Levin loves. And Mark Levin, let's be really honest, is Israel first. He's not America first.
Israel first? I can understand you not wanting to help Israel or whatever, but it's not like we're like taking weapons off the table that we're using right now to defend ourselves to give to Israel or something, right? The idea that even Ukraine first that's happening is fucking stupid when this is just part of our military budget. If you don't want to give arms to other countries and waste taxpayer dollar or spend it another way, then don't vote for raising the fucking military budget every goddamn time. We might get the Triple Crown if she trots to our side, Wes. Right.
So if
Marge, how many terms have you done so far? 2. All right, that's good.
if it were up to Mark Levin, America would fight every single war that the secular government of nuclear armed Israel wanted to drag America into, because
The secular government. Wow. So it's not even like Zionist Israeli Jews. So Israel is now to her an atheist country. Motherfucker.
that's what's been happening for a long time. And if anyone's paying attention, and I would say Fox News better start paying attention, but their problem is most of the people that watch Fox News are very much up in age, the baby boomer generation, who I love. Those are my parents, but that's their biggest audience.
But they gotta go, right? Go after that youth vote there. Fuck the old white guys running everything. You talking the talk. You're never gonna walk the walk, ma'am.
That's not the future of America. And I know that's hard and tough talk, but
Yeah, no, sorry. Young people in general are always the future. I'm just saying, because old people tend to, what's the word I'm looking for? Die, I think is the phrase.
future of America is my children's generation, Eric, and they don't have a future right now. Because
Wait a minute. So I don't want to quote you out of context, Marge, but do you believe the children are our future? Teach them well and let them lead the way.
we have Mark
Next to that's what friends are for.
Levin, the neocons, and the establishment in Washington, D.C., pushing as hard as possible
You forgot Uniparty
to shove it
and Deep State.
into more foreign wars. And they would love to see it explode all over the world. And when I say America first, Eric, I absolutely mean it. And I could care less what Mark Levin or anybody else has to say, because guess what? Mark Levin doesn't
Anybody else, even your voters, apparently, who 60% supporting Ukraine, even if they voted for you in your ultra red district? Weird.
live in my district and didn't vote for me. When I say America first, I'm talking about the Georgia businesses in my district. I'm talking
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. The Georgia businesses. You mean like the electric car battery factory that opened in your district thanks to the funding that was guaranteed, the loan guarantees created by the Biden administration for renewable energy stuff that are the only new jobs in your whole fucking district since you became a congressperson?
about the families that live in my district. I'm talking
Who work at the EV battery factory?
about every age person, whether right or left, that lives in
That works in the EV battery
my
factory?
district and needs for Washington, D.C. for once to finally care about this country and Americans' needs. And that hasn't been happening for a long time. So
Hey, asshole. Your party wants to cut welfare and all social programs for Americans. Fuck like that, whatever, $12 billion in foreign aid they got rid of. They're cutting $500 billion from America's needs. Emergency funds. What the fuck are you talking about? We got to save all this money we're sending overseas so we can protect our people from what? Trans people and women Women are going to go around aborting full-grown people next.
I will
Jesus.
not apologize. I am completely unapologetic for being
Well, I guess I think those probably go hand in hand, if I'm not mistaken.
America first. And I'm actually getting to the point where I'm America only, because
Unless you're an American and you're sick, or you're poor, you lost your house because of an economic downturn that was out of your control, or if you had a child born with a disability, so you're on the edge of bankruptcy all the fucking time as you try to take care of that child, or somebody in your family ended up paralyzed and they don't have fucking the kind of money that like Christopher Reeves supporters send him and that kind of stuff. That, you know, kind of fuck them. They're Americans, but I mean, are they complete Americans? They do have disabilities after all, right, Marge? Fuck off. Where's the school funding? Where's the school lunch program? Why would you ever look? The idea that somebody's America first and that they would not want to supply lunch for children for free in a place they legally have to be for at least 7 hours. Fuck off with this America First nonsense. It's so fucking infuriating. It's so stupid.
that's the only thing that should matter. And in my job title, Eric, I'll say this one last thing. It's representative in the United States House.
Yes, you are representative of the failure of our education system and why funding needs to be improved, especially in small, deeply red districts.
Of representatives. My job is to only represent United States citizens and to represent Georgia's 14th district. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I don't care what Mark Levin has to say. All he does is screech and yell at people on his stupid, pathetic show that hardly anyone ever watches.
Stupid and pathetic.
And frankly, this country is really sick and tired of his time.
Are we?
I have to put this out there. I was at Fox for 12 years. No, don't begrudge anything of that. Brett Baer is a good guy. I've liked Brett for a long time, but there's a little technique.
Yeah, you guys go to the same dermatologist filler person.
In television. You produce shows along. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Mark Levin taking the low road. I think he means by bringing up Marjorie Taylor Greene at all.
You produce shows, you know how to handle things. What he did was they took your comment from this show. It was word for word from this show, and they put it up on a screen because they didn't want
that. That's terrible when they take your own words and use them against you.
Have you on this network. They didn't want to give Real America's Voice the airtime to say that we're creating content that people are listening to. A lot of
they didn't play the clip and you didn't get to make money off it. They just played a still of it.
People who were probably watching last night disagreed with Mark Levin, even on Fox News.
Never. That doesn't happen.
Probably agreed with you, and they wouldn't give them the opportunity to know where that came from. It's just a cheap little shot. Getting back to what Mark Levin said, my problem with what Mark said was I like him. He's a decent guy. He's a smart guy, but for him to say that you're wrong for wanting to pull out of any sort of support for Israel, Ukraine, and anywhere else in the damn world we're supporting foreign wars, that's somehow not MAGA anymore. You are, my dear, representing what the real true north of MAGA is.
Yes, that's absolutely. Yes, ahistorical, violently pathetic, revisionist, borderline, certainly bigoted, borderline racist, and again, willfully ignorant. So MAGA through and through.
And it really elected you and Donald Trump for.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And
Then why did he lose your number?
I've been on the ground all over this country, and this country is desperately begging for Washington, D.C. to stop sending their money in foreign aid to foreign.
Or, you only talk about, I guess you only discuss. Let's see what this. I'm trying to find this clip at Mark Levin where he's actually talking about her. Do we know which one? Because I don't know which one they're referring to, per se. When does this guy? Hold on. This is brand new. And he may have done it on his what is this?
But yet we have Mark Levin over there pissed off on his radio show, and he's saying, I hate the word ceasefire. Like, that is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
And that's not who we are. That is not our movement. That is not America First. That is not MAGA. As a matter of fact, he took off the costume temporarily because he couldn't take it anymore. It was stifling. It was hot. He was sweaty. You know, you can see the whole thing.
Okay, so that's what this is about. She's like clamoring and sucking up to Tucker, who has literally marching orders from Russia. I just Trump and choosing him. This 3 weeks ago. No. Yeah, I don't see. Well, maybe it's not posted on YouTube. I've been looking at it this whole time. There's one like a month ago. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was on his radio show.
Conflict,
which is weird because why would Eric Bolling? I guess he'd still have to play the audio.
To foreign wars, and of course we support Israel and we wish them well. But the reality is, and this needs to be said loud for everyone to hear, that is a secular government of Israel. They are a nuclear-armed nation. They have proven.
Wait, does she think secular and nuclear mean the same thing?
To the entire world that they are.
They're by the way, they're supposed to be secular. We're a secular government.
More than capable of not only defending themselves.
I think she thinks secular means that nuclear armed or something. For real.
But practically wiping out their enemies, because that's what they're doing in Gaza. They are completely wiping it out. And I've used the term genocide, and I think that's the right term to use. And so Israel is an incredible country. Let me tell you the other great things in Israel. They have state-funded health care. State-funded health care. They also...
Who the fuck? Wait a minute. All right, hold on. Fucking, did Kyle Kalinske buy a fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene outfit and sneak on to Eric Boller's show? What the fuck? Holy shit, right? Now, granted, like, yeah, what a commie is right. Because she's not going to follow through on any of this shit. She's, seriously. She sounds like she's to the fucking left of me, and she's not.
Have a very big abortion policy. So if you're a Christian in America, Israel is state-funded, and they provide abortions to women.
Oh, I see. Sorry, she was ramping up to being negative. We all assumed that she was complimenting them for having state health care. She was saying, this proves they're a bunch of fucking commies. I see. Okay. I was like, all right. It suddenly makes sense. I
up to 6 months, and even thereafter, if it gets approved by a committee. So Christians...
Yeah, doctors, because the baby's not viable and it'll kill the woman. That's the timing. That's when they're allowed to do it.
You need to understand what you're supporting when you blindly support this country. They also have state-funded college.
If I may.
Oh my God! What? All right. Look, this whole abortion in the 10th month thing, I'm all for, but state-funded college. All right. Enough already. I seriously thought she was meaning these things like, Israel's got all this stuff going for it, right? Nope.
If I may.
If I may, what the fuck are you talking about? My God. Okay. God damn it. I'm running out of time already. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. I just want to do the front of this because it's so stupid. This is gonna... You want to talk about AI slop? Ladies and gentlemen, Peanut Butter Dickhead brings you Drone War 3. I think this is a reference to World War 3 will be fought with drones, therefore, because I've checked and I'm not aware that we've had a Drone War 1 and a Drone War 2. And I don't think any of the Star Wars prequels qualify. But this is drone warfare, how China quietly dominated the industry.
How advanced do you think America is when it comes down to drones, whether it's...
Well, we have Reaper drones. We have the big, like, basically, almost submarine-sized big ones in the sky that do serious damage. And then we have aircraft for the rest of the ship. We don't have the little ones. And the DJI, like, little monsters that Ukraine is using have come to the forefront.
Commercial, war, military, how advanced do you think we are? This is America. We built the iPhone, we built Walmart, we built a lot of technology.
Sorry, those are your two big sales points?
We built a lot of great things. What do you think we rank? 30% the market, 50%, 20%? What do you think we are? Like, we're making probably the best ones for military, for warfare. We're seeing Ukraine and Russia. Did you know 60 to 80% of the damages and casualties in the war between Russia and Ukraine was due to FPV drones? Do you know 83,000 targets?
Yes, we do. Stick to one percentage, stupid.
Strikes that Ukraine did in a single month. 2/3 of those strikes were through FPV drones. This is today modern day warfare. Drones are important. Do you know
are they in your ceiling?
Who owns apparently 70 up to 90% of the production in drones worldwide? It's a company called DJI.
Right. But they're consumer drones. Yeah, the kind that, like, and how many units are in that fucking market? Yes, it's a lot, but, like, it's like saying how much the market of, like, plastic bottles do they have?
Call it Digi, all these other ways they pronounce it. That's who produces 70 to 90%. And guess where they're based out of? China. And in America, we're not even competing in this space. And I mean at all. We're talking single digits. We're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, in the consumer drone spot, dummy. You think China makes our military drones, you tit?
Give value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So check this out.
No. Here's the other thing, too. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I probably should ask for more likes and subscribes than I do. I certainly don't do the business of it as much as I do. But when I do, I'm in all seriousness, whenever I specifically do it, as opposed to just prattling something off at the beginning of the show as a joke, it's after I feel like I've given you some content. You know what I mean? You should say it at the end. Don't thumbs up and subscribe, like before anything's happened. Except if you're a regular sparkler, and then you know it's going to be magic.
On June 6, President Trump announces an executive order that he signed titled Unleashing American Drone Dominance.
So I guess that fixed it then. He signed an executive order to unleash the dominance, did he? Do you know how stupid that sounds?
Don't we do it already? Aren't we pretty good at drones? Do you know how many drone companies we have in America? Roughly 500. Lots of them are startups, but 500 drone companies. These 500 drone companies, how many total drones do you think we produce in America per year? So 500, if each do 10,000.
207.
A year, that's 5 million. If each do 1,000 a year, that's 500,000. Do you know how many we do? We only produce 100,000 drones per year from the 500 companies. What did you say? That's right. Only 100,000 drones from 500 companies. How's that even possible? You said...
Because most of the startups you're talking about haven't produced any, and some of them have only produced a few, and the rest of them are the giant Reaper drones.
Something earlier that this company called DJI produces 70-90% of the numbers. Does it really? Let me give you some of the data. Here you go with the numbers. It tells us DJI does 70 to 90% of drones worldwide. You know what number 2 is? It's a company you've heard of before. That company is called General Atomics. They produce roughly 1 to 2% of the drones, and it's military grade.
Right. These are the ones that fucking matter. There's the fucking camera drones that like influencers use, and in the early days, Ukraine was like modifying to drop hand grenades. Now they 3D print their own, so they don't get them from China at all.
You know what number 3 is? Lockheed Martin. You know what they do? Less than 1%. Number 4 is Northrop Grumman, 1%. Then number 5 is AeroVironment. Guess what they are? Also 1%. So first place is 70-90%. Everybody else is 1%, 1%, 1%.
Yeah, but these aren't the same fucking kind, you asshole.
Yes. Why is that? Why?
because, I don't know. What do you think the market for fucking, like, what would be a specific thing? Like, wind-up toys in the United States. Like, you know those motorcycles? I had a toy when I was a kid, where you feed the plastic cord with teeth through it, and then you pull it, and it zips away. You know those things? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Who produces, if those are motorcycles, and so are real motorcycles, who produces the most motorcycles in the world? If you count toy motorcycles versus real motorcycles versus experimental fucking motorcycles, what percentage do you think it comes from China or are made in cheaper factories? Jesus Christ, dude.
Are we not competing in this space? I mean, we do hear about investors like Peter Thiel supporting American drone companies like Anduril, Unusual Machines. You hear 4 different companies receive the DIU funding for field tests. You got Dragoon and AeroVironment tested in Alaska. 2 others tested drones in Ukraine. Yet at the same time in Ukraine, you mean to tell me in drone, their warfare innovations, this guy named Oleksandr Yakovenko founded TAF Drones in response to Ukraine's need for combat drones. You know how many they produce? They produce 1,000 drones a day.
Right. To blow them up. They're munitions. They don't have a fucking 8K camera or a 5K camera or like you can do like this and they take a fucking picture, or they don't like follow you while you're jogging. They don't fold up and go into a backpack so you can take it on trips when you go on a cruise. That's what the fucking DJI ones are for, dummy. Jesus Christ.
A company, TAF, $500 each, what they produce. Like I said earlier, 80% of Russian casualties were inflicted because of drones. That's 1 million
Yeah, but the cameras are shit, I just want to say.
people through drones. In June
The Chinese are going to selfie us to death.
of 2025, 100 plus Ukrainian drones
Look at that kind.
struck deep in Siberia. Think about freezing cold, damaging 20 Russian.
Yes, freezing cold with all the green trees. Do you even watch the fucking footage you're using, asshole?
Warplanes. The most significant attack on Russia's soil since World War II, and Ukrainian drones versus destruction ratio. $500 drone versus $5 million Russian TOS-1 rocket launcher. Think about that. A $500 drone blew
There's a reason why this asshole is alone in his office.
up a $5 million Russian TOS-1 rocket launcher. Talk about a great rate of return when you're going against your enemies. Now, keep in mind, this place I'm talking about in Ukraine, it's a one factory. It's not 50 spots all across Ukraine. It's one place that produces 1,000 a day at $500 a piece. And then when you think about the companies that we produce in America, when they're doing their testing, one drone misses target by 80 feet, another one crashed immediately upon launch, a third one collided with a nearby mountain, highlighted major gaps in reliability, navigation, of resilience, and on top of that,
Wait. Sorry. So you're gonna question like the initial testing of drones or practicing with drones versus them just dropping prosumer 3D printed scalable drones with a fucking munition on them on people's heads?
that in America we have something called regulation, over-regulation. Some regulation takes months. FAA.
Yeah, we're not in a fucking war zone right now, you asshole. The reason why they can make these things and just chuck them into the sky is because they're at war. You fucking moron. I got news for you, motherfucker. If the fucking Russians invaded us on both coasts, all bets would be fucking off. First of all, our airplanes would all be grounded in that area, just like they are in Ukraine. And you can fly all the fucking drones you want. But we would rather not have them crashing into passenger jets as people are flying around going on fucking vacation, you asshole. God damn. Regulations are the problem. Regulations are why DJI can't sell in the United States anymore, you fucking putz.
He's got to come in and say, well, you know, you can't, you got to take your time. So a lot of the startup projects in America have been just dumped and says, I don't even want to mess with it. I'm going abroad. We're going to build this somewhere else because you're just too slow in America to be paying attention to this.
Yeah, that whole stupid thing about caring about what happens to your civilians.
And in the States, the incentive was more about building the bigger military drones, not the smaller ones, versus
right.
DJI and you.
because we don't have a border we have to worry about killing people on. We have surveillance drones that we need, and that's what we make. That's that 1% to 2% that you're getting from Lockheed Martin and fucking Palantir and all this stuff. That's exactly what they make. They make fucking drones that go around ports and they go along the southern border and the northern border, or to look for fucking missing people. We're not in the middle of Europe with a fucking war on our doorstep. Jesus. Fucking tit.
Ukraine and other places are like, no, let's focus on the smaller ones. But you hear what is
Because they can't focus on the bigger ones. Motherfucker. God damn, these people are stupid.
smaller one did what? A $500 drone destroyed a $5 million Russian TOS one.
Right. And I would rather those things kind of be limited in the airspace where we have a lot of planes running around. I mean, bird strike being what it is.
Rocket launcher, are you kidding me? And the ones that are produced in America, the pricing is much higher. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. A company that's working on one right now called Neros, a California startup. It's going to be around $2,000 per drone. They're planning on producing 1,500 drones per month by hand, planning on scaling to 1 million per year, which is a good thing if they're able to get there. You know, it's crazy when you think about everything that's going on right.
What do you mean, if they're able to get? Of course they are.
You know, with China, Israel, Hamas, Ukraine, Russia, all these wars. And we're like, well, it's not going to happen to America. But the reality is, if you go back to 1944.
Oh my God. There's going to be a drone version of fucking Pearl Harbor. This is where you're going with this?
Okay, we're talking about World War II. Do you know we were producing one B-24 bomber an hour?
Yeah! We were at war! A world war! Oh my God!
50 a month. Look,
how many were we making? How many fucking bombers that size were we making before the war, dummy?
Look at the picture.
Also, you're talking about private companies making drones, and then you're talking about fucking military production during a goddamn war. A world war! Jesus!
What you see in the picture, we produce one of those every 55 minutes. 650 of those per month. Why? We were ready.
Because they kept getting shot out of the fucking sky, that's why.
By the way, we didn't have 5 factories today like the General Dynamics and, Northrop Grumman and Raytheon, and that was it. We had 50 companies competing against each other. And America had this Ford Willow Run plant in 1942. It's like, we're going to get this done. Innovation, speed, mobilization, wartime mentality, and...
No, it was... No. No, there was not a wartime mentality. It was actual wartime, motherfucker. We were fighting Nazis. It wasn't a mentality. They were using them every day. God damn. What an asshole.
It's over-regulation. It's taken 13 years to build a ship. It's taken years to produce product. We no longer had the urgency that we had before. So,
right, because we're not in a world war.
I'm kind of glad that the president has something called Unleashing American Drone Dominance.
Why? Because your dick is that small? Your dick is so fucking small and useless even at its zenith that phrases like unleashing American drone dominance doesn't make you fucking embarrassed? Jesus Christ.
Just imagine, say somebody decides to attack us. You look...
Somebody decides to attack us. You're welcome.
Up in the sky, we have 20 massive drones. You see 300,000 drones up in the sky coming, like birds flocking. And they just go to different properties and homes and military bases, hitting a plane here, hitting a tank here, hitting a property here, hitting a...
Right, understood. Where are these coming from? Are they coming all the way across the ocean? How long is the battery life on these motherfuckers? How far are they getting here? Did they ship in a container like the ones in Russia? And if so, then the issue should be handled before then, I suppose?
Base over here. 300,000 of them. What do we do? How do we fight against it?
Well, I think primarily the first thing you would do is handguns and conventional arms to shoot them out of the sky. And then after those bullets land on all your neighbors, because it turned out to just be a drone show making a giant fucking eagle in the sky because Trump wanted to celebrate 250 and didn't tell anybody.
Are we ready for it? I saw a video where Morgan Freeman was the president, and his bodyguard is...
No, somebody just said he saw a movie. Karate Joe, no, he didn't see a movie. He didn't say he saw a movie. That is a movie. Did he say he saw a movie? No.
hitting a property here, hitting a base over here. 300,000 of them. What do we do? How do we fight against it? Are we ready for it? I saw a video where Morgan...
I saw a video, meaning he didn't watch the whole fucking movie. He watched a clip or a compilation or something. I saw a video. What are you, a fucking toddler? Mom, put in the video.
Freeman was the president, and his bodyguard is Gerard Butler. And you see these drones all of a sudden coming up. He grabs the president, throws him in the water, goes underwater so the drones don't get him. You're watching the movie like, oh, this is just a movie. Like this. It's already here. Literally, like this.
No, it literally isn't here. It used like that. You're no, it's not here just like that. And no, the president isn't being thrown off a fucking fishing boat and hiding underwater because the drones can't see him because it's cold. Oh my fucking God, this is so lame. Congratulations, you have entered the Glenn Beck dipshittery of bad cultural, pop culture references.
It's already here. The only question is...
No, it's not. It's not already here. No, it isn't. It's not already here. They don't have fucking things of drones where they can hunt down the fucking president. No, they don't. No, they do not. It is not here. Stupid. God damn. I'm gonna stay inside. I don't know about you.
Are we the...
Don't show him Alien, right?
Ones.
I saw a video where a chick was running a spaceship, and that's just the end of the world.
Ready to protect ourselves, or is it happening around the world? I hope we...
What is this? What is this? How far do you think these fucking things are flying? You think quadcopters are going this far? Why do you think we focus on Reaper drones and shit, dummy? Because they do go a long way. God damn this dude.
More attention to these drones, because warfare's changed in a major way. If you got...
Jesus Christ. And the fucking snap cuts, and God. It's so fucking painful. Now, this morning, I gotta, I'm almost to the end, and I would love to go into an entirely different video with you guys, but my girl got us tickets a while back to Lenny Kravitz, who's performing tonight. So we're gonna go, and I don't know if hold on. Yeah, is this in here? Okay. I want to show you something. So Summer earlier today was here it is. Let's see, is this guy? Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. I'm gonna do this. So Summer was in a situation earlier today where there was effectively a lockdown at her gym where she was working out, and in the middle of her workout, there was a couple cop cars when she showed up, and then a SWAT vehicle showed up, and then they had an active something or other. They didn't really say what. They arrested a woman at I say girl but Jenny, you're my girl. That's where that comes from. Simmer. All right. So, or Captain America says my best girl. That's where the phrase comes from. All right. So anyways, the Vegas economy is fine. It's dry right now, but it's the summer, so that's always true. Summer is not when you come to Vegas. It's usually the rest of the year. So it's always, they run into it. And I posted a video the other day. We were at, where was it? Aria or one of these places. And it was full in the afternoon on a Wednesday. So whatever. But she was in this, they were in this situation where there was basically a lockdown. They said, stay inside till we get this resolved. And I want to show you what the cops sent in to deal with. This goes out to our dear friend Christopher Titus, who I showed the apple picking robot to earlier. This thing, the police had a situation where there was a lockdown order. Check the arm on this thing. Now, it unlocks the door, turns the knob, and then like it unlatches it. The arm is super fucking creepy, but the body part of it, like it basically, this is all live video. This is not AI. This is real. This was, they also have ring cam footage from next door. But they had somebody in this place. Look how the robot cat, I'm calling it a cat because it's a friggin' panther, pulls back the door, blocks it with his foot, and then opens the door and goes inside. So that was today. So with this whole, like, they're not going to take the robot. And then, oh, by the way, they had another one, this guy, what's usually the bomb disposal robot, waiting in the wings to go in secondly. How's that Elon's robot dog? No. The original design, it's a Boston Dynamics dog. And so for all of his, the Chinese are doing all this stuff and they're taking all of our whatever. Boston Dynamics, all these, like, the robotics companies that really are making anything worth a goddamn are in the United States or Northern Europe. Flat out. The main thing that this thing is going in is to see where the guy might be hiding. This thing has not got a gun or a flamethrower attached to it. It doesn't spit acid or shoot darts yet. But what it does is it goes in there with a 360 camera on its tail and LiDAR, and it can tell if there's a person hiding in there. The other one was in case there's an incendiary device or a bomb or a firearm that needs to be removed. Let's say and they do this a bunch, where there's a shooter, they're downed, but they're not sure if the person is dead, but they have a gun and they've been firing. They're fairly certain they're down, but they don't want to send in a human to check. They'll send in this thing to check and make sure the person isn't moving, and it can tell if they've got a pulse and that kind of shit. And if it or the thing behind it can pick up and move the gun or whatever away from the person. Runaway is a great movie. I'm going to throw this out there. If I was going to pitch a TV show right now, it'd be Runaway the series. About think of it as Mindhunter with robots, where they're starting up this robot division to deal with runaway robots, and they have to go on these kids, right? Would that be? I'm just saying. I got a million of them. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And we could have Cynthia Rhodes, who could come out of retirement and be the captain. Huh? So I'm right. Think they could get Gene Simmons? These aren't all the chips, Ramsey, right? So this is a Boston Dynamics unit. They have multiple versions of these that they use different, for different purposes. And yes, of course, I'd be the intrepid young guy added to the force who's a bit crazy and will punch a robot because he had his entire right hand rebuilt and it's all tensile steel underneath it. So it gets cut up, but the flesh will heal because it's basically like a Terminator arm on it. I got the whole thing. I got a treatment. Anybody who wants to shoot me a line. But this happened today. Right about the time, right after Christopher Titus and I had been talking about this. Summer's fine. She's doing good. But I'm telling, look at the articulation of this arm. It looks like something straight out of a fucking movie. First of all, it looks like a snake staring at you, and it looks like stop animation. Looks like claymation in many ways, right? I'd be the comic cop. That's right. The guy who has a robot girlfriend and an AI companion that he chats with all the time. You're getting too close to these things, man. You're losing objectivity. Why? Because you've got a fleshlight attached to your phone. All right, sure. Cynthia's a great singer. That is true. She absolutely is. That's one of my favorite parts about Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, directed by Stallone, starring her and John Travolta. That's it, yeah. Yeah, there goes the other big robot rolling around. And then there's that one, and then it comes around the outside of here. So it rolls around, and it's going to follow into the door right there. This guy. So just to clarify, like, about what I was saying about how the tractor is why there was a purge of Mexican workers back in the 50s. This is why there's a purge of immigrants, especially specific to certain industries and manual labor right now. The people who are doing it are racist as fuck. But what did they find? I don't know what the update is. And the reason I don't know what the update is because we're waiting to hear. And this happened while this was going on, and I was texting back and forth. Altered Carbon is great. It's a little too much for most people, though, Samuel. I think we can agree. I think most people aren't ready for that level of sci-fi yet. It's too mind-bending. This happened. Chud used to do this thing where she would sleep on my arm. And now Bucky has started doing it. Right? It's pretty adorable. Like where he sleeps and then he stretches out and then he puts his hands on your arm and then just wants him to be there. Right? Yeah. Saturn 3 robot intimidating like Hector. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, isn't that cute? Yeah, so there's Bucky. And I'll leave you with that. Yeah. And he's just putting his toe beans on my skin. That's the whole thing. He's very snuggly now. He's starting to get really snuggly. It's pretty fucking adorable. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go. I got to run off and get myself together because I need to shower badly. Well. I need to shower well very badly. I'll just put it that way. I'm a little ripe. I've been working on stuff all morning, and then I've got to do more of that starting tomorrow as well. So, early in the morning. So I couldn't do a pickup show with Phil tomorrow morning, is because I got this delivery coming, and we got to clear the floor out over here, and it's just he's taken over Chud's spot on the on the couch too. It's pretty sweet. Isn't it sweet? It's pretty sweet. So, all right. Love you guys. I will see you later. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Share the show, etc., etc., etc. And again, happy birthday, CSL. We love you, brother. You fade great. And yes, there's a lot of cat hair on my... That's all Chip and Molly. All right. See you come the morn. Well, come the afternoon tomorrow.